A very good day to all. So in today's lecture series, we'll discuss a case study on casting process. So we've seen the various casting process and how the basic casting process works. This particular case study will be discussed on defects in casting. So there are various reasons for casting defects. So we have discussed during the casting process itself. Defects may arise due to different reasons. Maybe due to blowholes that may occur when improper ventilation is provided. So to prevent blowholes, we are providing vent holes in the casting process to make the trapped gases escape. If the trapped gases are not escaped, what happens is that during the solidification, they tend to form blowholes. And similarly, other improper casting practices leads to casting defects. So this particular case study will discuss about elimination of this casting defects in a particular industry and how they have achieved this elimination process. So that's what we'll be discussing in this case study. So first casting is sand holes. So this type of defects occurs due to improper compaction of sand. So how this occurs is that you will be dusting a layer of parting sand over the pattern during the mold making process. So the parting sand is to provide a smooth surface and to also prevent the reaction of surrounding sand with the molten metal. So parting sand is a slightly soft and a smooth finish material. So what it does is that it prevents the larger sand grains from interacting with the molten metal. So if the parting sand is not provided particularly, what happens is that the sand gets trapped into the larger sand particles get trapped inside the molten metal. And after solidification occurs, during the fettling process, what happens is that the sand hole, the sand comes out of the solidified metal. So when the sand comes out, a hole is formed. So that hole is called as sand hole. So this can be prevented by providing proper parting sand over the material. So the next type of defect is called as a cold shed defect. So this cold shed is spillage of material over the surrounding sand. So when there is not proper compacting, this also occurs due to improper compacting. So what happens is that the proper compacting is not provided. The molten metal gets spilled over, which means it seeps into the sand, and the edges will not be perfect. So that is called as cold shed defect. Then there is the shrinkage defect. So shrinkage defect causes rough surface castings. So this defect occurs by providing improper shrinkage allowances. So this shrinkage defect can be rectified by providing proper allowances. So all the casting defects which you have seen so far can be rectified by optimizing the mold making process. So the main important part in the casting process is preparation of mold. If the mold is prepared properly, then the final output casting will be best suited. So next is blowholes. So we have discussed about the blowholes. These blowholes occur due to improper ventilation. So if the vent holes are not provided properly, what happens is that the gas get trapped inside the metal. So once it solidifies, the bubbles will burst, and as you can see here, holes like this will be formed. So this can be prevented by providing proper ventilation. And sand inclusion. So this sand inclusion can be prevented by providing proper parting sand. So same process will be occurring again. So this is slag inclusion. So this slag inclusion occurs when the sand is not maintained properly. If there are any foreign particles inside the sand casting, for example, if there may be plastic, which may be too fine for us to notice, but during the casting process, what happens when the molten metal is poured, the plastic will burn through. What happens subsequently is that the molten metal will seep out. As you can see here, blowhole like holes will be formed. So this can be prevented by maintaining the molding sand properly. So it will be reused again and again. So it should be made sure that the sand is kept clean. So the rough surface occurs when there is not a smooth surface of the mold. So this can be prevented by providing a smooth layer of sand over the pattern so that the surface of the mold is smooth. If the surface of the mold is smooth, then automatically the output casting surface will also be smooth. So these are some of the methods by which the casting defects can be rectified. So any casting defects occurs because of improper mold preparation. So if we prepare the mold properly, the casting defects may be eliminated, and also by providing proper allowances, the casting defects may be eliminated. So thank you. We'll see in another lecture video.